Remember when a man's word was his bond and business happened with a handshake? In 1950, farmers bought tractors, families bought homes, and partners started businesses with nothing but a handshake and mutual trust. Today, buying a cup of coffee requires accepting a terms of service agreement. But that's not even the most shocking change. Wait until you hear what happened to trust in America. Spring morning, 1950. Two farmers met at a fence line separating their properties. One needed help harvesting his corn crop. His son was sick, couldn't manage alone. The neighbor listened, nodded slowly, then extended his hand. They shook firmly. Deal done. No contracts, no lawyers, no written terms. The neighbor would bring his equipment and two hired hands for 3 days. Payment would be fair. They'd figure it out after seeing how much work was involved. Both men would keep their word because that's what men did. Their fathers had done business this way, and their grandfathers before them. A handshake meant something. Breaking it meant losing everything, not money, but reputation. In small-town America, reputation was currency more valuable than cash. Everyone knew everyone. Word traveled fast. A man who broke handshake deals found himself alone, untrusted, unwelcome. Social pressure enforced honor better than any legal system. But here's what made handshake deals actually work. Communities were small, stable, interconnected. People lived their entire lives in the same town. The farmer you cheated today was your neighbor for 50 years. His cousins went to your church. His kids played with yours. You'd see him at the general store, the post office, every Saturday in town. Escaping a bad reputation was impossible. This created natural accountability. Trust wasn't naive, it was practical. Both parties had too much to lose by cheating. Business happened at kitchen tables over coffee, not conference rooms with lawyers present. When a young couple wanted to buy their first home, they visited the local bank president, who'd known their families for generations. He asked about their character, work ethic, family values. Financial statements mattered less than reputation. The loan was approved with a handshake. Maybe a simple promissory note, 1 page, signed by both parties. The couple paid their mortgage to the same bank president who'd shake their hands at church every Sunday. Missing a payment meant disappointing someone who knew your grandmother. And buying a car, equally simple. The local car dealer had sold vehicles in that town for 20 years. When a farmer needed a new truck, they discussed terms on the lot. Price, trade-in value, payment schedule, all negotiated face-to-face. The dealer might say, "Pay me what you can after harvest." No credit checks, no financing paperwork, no 40-page contracts with microscopic terms. They shook hands. The farmer drove away. Payments came when crops sold. Some years were better than others. The dealer understood he was part of the community, not a corporate chain optimizing quarterly profits. If the farmer struggled one year, they'd work it out. Maybe pay a bit more next year, or trade some labor fixing the dealership's fence. Flexibility existed because relationships mattered more than rigid contracts. Starting a business? Two partners might split costs and profits with nothing but a handshake and a basic understanding. Wait until you see how lawyers destroyed this system. Fast forward to 2025. Every transaction, no matter how small, requires contracts. Buying a car means signing documents for hours, purchase agreement, financing terms, warranty disclaimers, arbitration clauses, privacy policies. The salesman doesn't know your family. He's transferred here 6 months ago from another state, will transfer again in 6 months. He's incentivized to maximize profit per transaction, not build lifetime relationships. The financing goes to a national bank whose executives will never meet you. Default means algorithm-driven collections, not disappointed looks at church. Starting a business with a partner? Lawyers insist on 80-page operating agreements specifying every possible scenario. Who owns what percentage? Who makes which decisions? What happens if someone wants out? Dispute resolution procedures, non-compete clauses. The legal fees exceed what entire businesses used to cost, and the home buying process, absolutely insane. Buying a home in 2025 means drowning in paperwork. Initial offer, counteroffers, inspection contingencies, financing contingencies, title searches, mortgage applications running 50 pages, closing documents in stacks requiring hours to sign. Lawyers, real estate agents, title companies, inspectors, appraisers, all extracting fees. The closing costs alone exceed what entire houses cost in 1950. Nobody knows anybody. The seller never meets the buyer. Everything happens through intermediaries protecting against lawsuits. Even renting an apartment requires applications, credit checks, background checks, co-signers, security deposits, first and last month's rent, plus signing leases running 30 pages defining every possible rule. Late fees, pet fees, cleaning fees, all spelled out because trust doesn't exist. Landlords assume tenants will destroy property and skip out. Tenants assume landlords will exploit them. Both assumptions are often correct because there's no community accountability. So how did we get from handshakes to this? America became mobile. People moved constantly. New jobs, new cities, new lives. The stable communities that enforced handshake deals dissolved. Nobody knew their neighbors anymore. The social pressure that made people honor their word vanished. Simultaneously, lawyers discovered litigation was profitable. Sue first, ask questions later became standard practice. Small disagreements that used to be settled over coffee became court battles costing tens of thousands. Businesses learned that handshakes were liabilities. Insurance companies demanded contracts for everything. Corporate chains replaced local businesses. The traveling salesman who'd maintained relationships for decades was replaced by quarterly earnings targets and employee turnover. Nobody stuck around long enough to care about reputation. The incentive structure changed from long-term relationships to short-term extraction. But here's the heartbreaking part about lost trust. The contracts that were supposed to protect everyone actually protect corporations and the powerful. Those 40-page agreements nobody reads are written by lawyers to minimize corporate liability while maximizing corporate power. Arbitration clauses strip away the right to sue. Automatic renewal terms trap customers. Fine print allows fee increases without notice. Regular people don't have lawyers reviewing every contract. They just sign, hoping for the best. Meanwhile, the powerful have legal teams ensuring every advantage. The handshake system had flaws. It could reinforce local prejudices, exclude outsiders, favor established families. But it was at least somewhat balanced. Both parties were local, visible, accountable. Modern contracts are one-sided agreements that individuals must accept or be excluded from economic life. Try buying a phone without accepting the terms of service. Try renting without signing the lease. Try working without signing arbitration agreements. The cost of lost trust goes beyond paperwork. In 1950, transaction costs were minimal. 2 people, a conversation, a handshake, done. Today, armies of intermediaries extract fees from every transaction. Real estate agents take 6%. Lawyers bill hourly. Title companies charge thousands for paperwork. Credit bureaus sell access to your own information. Every transaction has friction, delay, and cost. The legal industry employs over 1 million lawyers, up from 200,000 in 1950. All those lawyers need work, so they create complexity requiring more lawyers. It's self-perpetuating. The complexity also excludes people. The handshake system was accessible to everyone. Modern contracts require understanding legal language most people can't comprehend. This creates dependency on experts and advantages for those who can afford better lawyers. The playing field isn't level anymore. It's tilted toward wealth and power. Can handshake deals exist in modern America? Some communities are trying to rebuild trust-based commerce. Local food co-ops, farmers markets, small towns resisting corporate chains. In these spaces, handshakes still happen. Farmers sell produce on honor system payment boxes. Neighbors help neighbors without written agreements. Community-supported agriculture runs on trust. Pay up front, get vegetables all season. These models work when community exists, when people know each other, when reputation matters again. But there are exceptions in a sea of contractual relationships. Most Americans live in anonymous sprawl where neighbors are strangers and businesses are faceless corporations. Rebuilding handshake culture requires rebuilding community, something much harder than signing contracts. So which system was better? The answer is complicated. The handshake era excluded many people. Women couldn't make deals, minorities faced discrimination, outsiders weren't trusted. But for those included, it was efficient, low-cost, and human-scaled. Modern contracts theoretically protect everyone equally, but actually favor those with power, money, and lawyers. We've traded community accountability for legal complexity, trust for suspicion, relationships for transactions. A 1950 farmer and his neighbor solved problems together. A 2025 landlord and tenant view each other as adversaries. Both systems have injustice, but one felt human while the other feels mechanical. Maybe the lesson isn't returning to handshakes completely, but finding balance. Maybe some transactions need contracts while others need trust. Maybe we should ask why we require 50-page agreements to rent an apartment, but a handshake once bought a house. Here's what we really lost with handshake deals. We lost the assumption of good faith. In 1950, the default was trust until proven otherwise. Today, the default is suspicion. Everyone's assumed guilty until contracts prove otherwise. We lost efficiency. Transactions that took minutes now take weeks. We lost human connection. Business was relationship building, not asset extraction. We lost accountability. Breaking a handshake in 1950 meant social death. Breaking a contract today means hiring better lawyers. We lost simplicity. A child could understand a handshake. Teams of lawyers can't agree on contract interpretations. Most painfully, we lost the idea that people are fundamentally good, that communities can self-regulate, that honor matters more than enforcement. The contracts prove we don't trust each other anymore. Every clause is a prediction of betrayal. Every disclaimer assumes bad faith. The legal system grew because trust died. And trust died because community dissolved, because people became mobile, anonymous, disconnected, because short-term profits replaced long-term relationships, because quarterly earnings matter more than reputation, because we stopped knowing our neighbors, shopping at local stores, living in the same town for generations. The handshake didn't fail. We failed it by building a society where it couldn't survive. Whether trust can be rebuilt in modern America remains the question. But one thing is certain: we're drowning in contracts because we're starving for community. And no legal agreement, no matter how detailed, can replace what we lost when a man's word stopped being his bond.